You know, with me experiencing being a transformation coach, I've discovered that people really want to be better. And a lot of times people are not shown the way, but they're thrown into the way.
Don't push me away, don't throw me away. I got some things I need to say. Tell me, won't you hear me?
If you are a leader of any sorts, we have to meet people right there, right where they are. That's the only way we'll be able to really push for effective change. We really want to be better, and we gotta help each other get there, y'all, because the world needs to see it.
What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of Ray Bridging Humans. It's the place where the people get to hear you and the world get to see it. What's up, family? What's going on, everybody? Glad y'all here with me today. As I start a series entitled When Faith Hurts. My background, as you all know, is church, is ministry, and as I continue to move on purpose in my life, move on purpose where the Creator have me. I'm digging deeper into my story and digging deeper into healing spaces. And my prayer and my hope is that as I move deeper into my healing spaces, that others will ultimately move deeper as well. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. Me and her, we literally just had a conversation offline before we got started. And I'm so happy to have my friend Kenya Gray on the show today. What's up, Kenya? How you doing?
Hey Ray, how you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm so happy that she's here. And this is going to be a series. And if you have not already subscribed to the podcast, Ray Bridging Humans, listen, share this episode with somebody, as well as you like the episode too, and leave comments on the series, because this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a really good one. And I know it's a host of people I could have sat down with and probably got, but I wanted to get people that I know that are built for connection. People I know that are built for transparency, and they have gone through places and ways, things in their lives that I know they are built for connection. And today we really just want to have a real conversation. Kenya, real conversation, y'all. Kenya, she's a light. She's a light. She's so many things to so many people, and she wear a lot of hats. And she is ultimately, I know she's a God chaser. I know she is a connector. She is a bridger, y'all. She's a bridger, and I'm so happy. And as I told her before I turned the mic on, if you know her, you know her. I know most of you watching this, I know you know her. You know who she is, but I call her Dr. Gray. No, I can call her Dr. Gray now, but she is a preacher. She is a preacher, and she's somebody. If you know me, you know how I am, and you know my journey. And Kenya is somebody that I can literally sit down and share and be safe and talk to. So with this whole series, y'all, I want to bring healing. I want to promote healing. This is not a tear the church down series. This is not a buck up against the church, because it's a part of whether you're in it or not, whether you still go or not, whether you go and thinking about leaving, like this is something that's a part of our hearts. And so we have to navigate. So I'm here to be transparent, to be honest, and to ask hard questions and to get hard answers. And before we even get started, like, Kenya is somebody who, she can hold me accountable. She can get in my ass, if you will. And I'm so happy to have her here to sit down and start this conversation with me, Kenya, because boy, these conversations gonna get hot. But I wouldn't rather do it with anybody else. So I wanted to just give you an opportunity, Kenya, to humanize you, because we're humans. And so I like to start out with the question, outside of any accomplishments you have, outside of anything you own, any titles, who are you as a person, Kenya?
And again, thank you for having this. Let me be a part of this conversation.
Yes, yes.
What you about to do?
I'm gonna move your mic a little. We'll move your mic. She's the technician, y'all. I'm literally learning.
What about this?
That's much better. But hold on 1 second. Cool. She's a technician. I asked her. She said she liked the mics, how to set. I was like, I want to get some lapel mics, but she was like, nah, I like these mics. So we gonna roll with these. I not too long just bought these mics too. So yeah. But anyway, Kenya, who are you?
Yeah, I'm Kenyan.
Yes.
A Memphian, born and raised here in Memphis. A lover of God.
Yes.
A follower of Jesus.
Yes.
I'm a preacher. A disciple.
Yes.
And I'm a creator.
Yes.
That's me.
Yes.
That's me. If in one sentence.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
goofy. I'm silly. I'm a big kid.
Yes.
Still watch cartoons. So I just like to have fun and make people laugh.
That's cool. Same here. And y'all, we connect on deep levels. This is like one person that I know I can go deep and wide with. I feel like certain people you can only go deep with, but you can't go wide with them. Like deep is the ocean. Some people you can go wide with. Like that's my people. But you ain't really going too deep with them. But you're one of those people, and I intently set this up like this because I knew she would be one of the ones that would come and sit down on the couch with Ray. And this is what ministry looked like to me in 2024. Mm-hmm. This is what it looks like to me. It's raw, it's honest, it's transparent, and it's how people will see and how people will grow, people will heal. Okay, so yeah. But how did you get here? How did you get? What could you share with the Bridgers on how you got to the space where you are in ministry and in God?
So let me introduce myself, I suppose.
Come on, yeah. Come on, let's do it.
I'm a church baby.
Yes.
I was born in the church, literally.
Yes.
My whole family, church folks.
Yes.
That's just what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I accepted my call into ministry at 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I have known that I was called to preach since then and called to the church as well since that time.
Yes.
Since I graduated high school, church has been the only vocation that I've had. Mm-hmm. It's been my career path. Mm-hmm. So I've served on several staffs. I've been on a couple of staffs at churches here in the city. And I've grown literally up.
Yes.
In the church.
Yes.
You know, like, you know how people had their stories of back in the day they was growing up, going to college and they learned all of this stuff. No,
yes.
I cut myself and hurt myself and learned and bumped my head
yes.
in the church.
Yes.
And so now where I am is really discovering who I am. Mm-hmm. I've been through a lot in my personal life. I've lost my mom, you know, COVID.
Yes. God.
We can't ignore the impact that the pandemic had on us, and especially us as preachers and ministers.
Right.
You know, COVID shut the church down too.
Yes.
And for those of us who only knew church, it was like, what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So now I'm just this woman, you know, 30 plus years old now. And
wow, that's crazy to hear you say that, dog.
Yeah, 30 plus years old now. And as I have understood me more and as I have understood just who God is more, now I'm just kind of out here. I feel like John in the wilderness. Yeah. Calling and letting people know about Jesus coming.
Yes,
my ministry now looks very unconventional. Mm-hmm. I still go to a church. I attend the church. I'm not on the staff at a church now. I serve because that's what God has called me to do, is serve at this time.
Yes.
And I'm finding ways to do ministry and discipleship outside of the church walls. And so
yes.
And now here we are.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much for that nice introduction you just gave. And y'all, let me tell y'all, Kenya has been one of the ones since I have been out of ministry. Kenya has been one of the ones who I have talked to about my journey, you know, and she has a very interesting way. It's good. It's really good. An interesting way to hear me as well as on the same end, whether she knows it or not, in her words and how she speaks, she's also still hold me accountable to my cause. She's always held me accountable to serving, held me accountable to my purpose. And so I appreciate it, because whether you know it or not, just my relationship with you has been great, because not only have I been able to share my grievances with Kenya, but she's also held me to the fire as well. So thank you for that, Kenya.
It's crazy to hear you say that.
Yeah, for real.
Because I legit, you just big bro rated me.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I just, so
Yes.
glory to God.
Yes. And Kenya, and this is her first podcast too, y'all. So I'm honored. I'm excited to have her here. And before we get into the conversation, Kenya, I want to open up like this. We was getting ready for church yesterday, and so I was getting ready, and this is gonna open up the conversation, and I'm gonna go off into conversation from here. Getting ready for church yesterday, and y'all heard that I went to church yesterday. Y'all, Raymond went to church yesterday. I went to church yesterday, and, right. Getting ready for church yesterday, and so I was getting ready to go to a church where two of my friends who are married, as a gay couple, they're married and they were getting ordained to be deacons. And so I was getting ready for church for that. So excited for that. And I turned on not the local church, but the church that I tune into. And so he was preaching online while I was getting ready. And before he preached, he was talking about the election. Mm-hmm. And he was, warning people that if you follow a church or people who tell you who to vote for, are real vocal about who you vote for, you need to be wary of those preachers. And he said, I have a strong opinion on the election, but you won't hear what I feel about it until after I retire. And so just for some odd reason, when I was listening to him say that, I was struggling with what he said, but I turned on another preacher in another city, because it's 2024, we can do that now. Mm-hmm. Not because I was disagreeing with him, but because I just wanted to see what another preacher was saying a couple days before the election. And I turned on this other big major pastor as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting ready to go to a major pastor church. I'm watching another one have an opinion about something, and then I turned on the third one, and he's giving Malcolm X hard. Mm-hmm. He's like, we got to vote for Kamala Harris. We got to unite as a people. It's just important that we understand what's going on in our Black community. It's important to know. And so he was giving all this. And so I had like an epiphany in that moment, Kenya. Mm-hmm. 3 different major pastors, 3 different, totally probably different opinions on 3 different things. Just 1, affirming queer men. 2, just the way their stance on how you speak in this day about what's going on. And the 3rd one, he's straight Malcolm X. And so realistically, you know what I'm saying? Like it's 3 totally different, I know, paradigms, Kenya. So is in your opinion, is there a way, or is it even realistic to feel like, because I know different churches, different spaces, different people you're talking to, but there's a way we can because we're in 2024, the information age. 20 years ago, we couldn't log into 3 different churches and see what's going on. Right. But today we can. And so we have access to this information. Is it a way in the body, in particular in Black church spaces, can we unify more with centrally on different on particular topics, or you think it'll always just be divided like that?
I was going to ask you, were all 3 African American?
Yes, all three. Oh, yes, all 3 African American. Now, one has, he got like a lot of white people at this church, and a lot of Black people, a lot of Mexicans. He got a lot of different people. So I see why he said what he said, as far as like he didn't want to say who he voted for, but I struggle with it because I don't know if that's enough for today. And in the same hand, I understand, like, okay, I just got to be neutral because I don't want to offend anybody. So, and so, yeah.
Yeah, as long as there are people There's going to always be multiple understandings of a thing.
Yes.
So it'll be very, very hard for there to be a unifying thought, even if there is supposed to be one.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And so that's me.
No. Right.
There's gonna always be multiple views, even if there is supposed to be one.
Wow.
And so, with that being said, people can only speak to things at the level of their own conviction.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
And so for my Malcolm X brother, he understands the fullness and the totality of our state.
Yes.
You know, and to him, we just gonna say it. You know, to my brother in the middle, I don't like people that be in the middle like that.
Yeah, I struggle with that. Yes.
But I understand it. You know, we don't understand the politic of his church. We don't understand, you know, what funders he has. We don't know, you know, what support he has. And then for the other, you know, I think it would be obvious based on that church ordaining a gay couple. It would be clear on where their political view would be on the more liberal side.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, it just depends on where your convictions lie.
Wow.
And what are they rooted out of as well. Anyone who understands the nature of God and love, and how God loves us in totality, it's no other option in this particular election.
No other option. It's no other option. Right. It's but one, literally one option in this election. And by the time y'all viewing this, we will have a new president. Gosh, and I don't even know, like, woo. But you know, like, I don't even know what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow night, honestly. Yes. Listen, cause it's like I don't even know, but I know that God got us, and I know that we will, with the Creator, He's gonna make sure that we are good. But I wanted to start out with that because a lot of people, because of the access to information and the information age we're in Kenya, they hear different pieces of different sermons from different people, and so a lot of them will resort to, that's why I don't do church no more, because man, look, they all over the place. This will say this will say that, this will stand behind this, and so that's why I asked you the question. But it's a lot of different reasons why people don't go, and I wanted to ask you specifically, Kenya. What is church hurt to you? What is church hurt, and why do so many people experience it in the church community today?
Great question. Church hurt to me is at the root is the result of flesh leading in a spiritual space.
Wow. Oh, okay.
At the root.
At the root of
it.
Yes.
When you chop down a tree, under there, at the root, it will be flesh operating in a spiritual space.
Yes.
Now that might look like people mishandling people. That might look like leadership overstepping authority and hurting people. That might look like all types of different things. But at the root of it, church hurt is the result of people just not operating in the spirit.
Wow. Yeah. At the root, right?
At the root of it.
Yes.
But it is also the result of mismanaged expectations.
Yes.
It is also the misappropriation of authority. Sometimes, as people in the pew, we give our leaders too much authority.
Yes.
Because we forget that it is God who is the Lord of our lives. And so when that happens, we take things personally and to heart that these fickle flesh, that these human bodies do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all human. And when we interact or when we encounter each other, depending on where our spirits are that day, you might get raw Kenya, you might get human Kenya,
Yeah.
or you might get spiritual Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just depends.
Yeah.
And so you put all of these people together that's trying to figure out who they are.
Yes.
You got all of these people that's coming with their own burdens and frustrations and depressed minds and jaded viewpoints at how they looking at things.
Uh-huh.
And you bound to see some people be hurt.
You're gonna see it.
And I don't want it to sound trite, but that's just what happens when people come together. People get hurt.
Yes. and on my research on this and just kind of digging to understand, to your point, that we're humans, and so we're flawed. Number one, already we're flawed, and then to your point as well, I think that to understand that we're flawed, and you have people that stand on, number one, you have people that stand on impossible pedestals, if you will, and then we put people on impossible pedestals, right? And so there's an expectation thing, there's an expectation problem, as well as an ego issue. So, I see that greatly, and the way that all these happenings been happening within the past few years about all the stuff coming out with the different men and women of God, it's like, I feel like God is speaking in a way letting us know, hey, all y'all chill out, all y'all humans. And so I feel like that there has to be a way to, number one, level it out to understand, okay, this just like you got a calling, I got a calling. You got a calling, you got a calling. And we have to really humanize ourselves. That's one. And number two, I feel like acknowledgement and visibility for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a piece, honestly, just being transparent with you, Kenya. I don't know if we will get to in this lifetime. In our lifetimes, I'm not sure if we will, but I know it's needed. And because church is attached to my heart, even though I haven't been a member of a local congregation in a couple of years now, but it's still attached to my heart. And I'm concerned for the church, because a lot of my friends go, a lot of people that I love still go and attend. And so I care for the space. I do care for the space. And I don't know, I'm trying to honestly navigate as a queer man, trying to navigate where do I fit now? Because as I told King before I turned the camera on, it's not, to me now, it's not so much as what was done to me in church, but I think I am healing now from what I didn't get in church. And that is my self-esteem, that's self-awareness, that's me having my self-worth really pulled up to a place for me to understand that even though I am gay, I can be as respected as my pastor who's not. Man, I hope this is really, really gonna help somebody, y'all, because we all need to see each other on a respect level, regardless of where you see this thing. And so I asked Kenya that. I just, that's where I am. And I asked her about being able to, like, is it realistic to have the duality of visibility as well as accountability? Because I still want accountability. I need accountability, and that's the only way we can grow. Like even if you don't go to a church, if you're not attending a church, I know it's important for you to still study your word. It's important for you to still get understandings of God and pray and meditate. Like all those pieces are very, very, even much more now important to me than they were then, because I still do service in the community. I still help God's people. So yeah, Kenya, I know I just kind of got lost in that.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I want to ask back to you.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do
Maybe
it.
that'll help us move. When we say, because I think acceptance and accountability, right? Those are the two things that you mentioned. What does that look like?
Good question.
For you? And I think when we define truly what that means and what we're really looking for when we say that, that'll also help us be more receptive when we do enter these spaces.
Okay.
Because if you go in not knowing what that even looks like for you, you won't know if you came across it or not when you get there. So what is that?
Good.
What do you mean by acceptance?
That's good. So what I mean by acceptance is, so me as a queer man, and to know that I've been in church all my life just like you. I've been in the space, served, all of the things that you have been in, as well as my other brothers and sisters, like being in that space, and the silence of it all for me to have to, I'm there. And so it's to me, and I explained it like one of my earlier episodes, it's don't ask, we know, but don't tell. And so that's like, that's a thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ask, we know. We know you here. We know y'all in the choir. We know y'all here. We know you ain't never had no woman on your side. We know you ain't got no kids. We know. And so we have our separate conversations about you, but we know you're here, and we just gonna respect the fact as long as you're here and you're silent. And so that silence is the lack of acknowledgement to me, because what if I said I was? How? Because it's just, I don't know what it is, something about when it's vocalized, it's different. It's just different. And so what if I said that I was a gay man? What if I said that this is me? Give me the opportunity to say it so I can truly do life, not having to show up and silent everything, because I'm living life. Whether you know it or not, we live life. You know, we're doing it. We're living life. We're in relationships. We're buying homes. We're doing all the things, you know. But when it comes down to ministry, it's silent. And I think that it's been understood. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been understood that if it is acknowledged, then you don't want any accountability. And so what accountability looks like to me, hold me to the, give me the reassurance that, especially as a child, as a teenager, growing up in church, like, man, your self-worth is still valuable. Even in the space of you, if you're not even understanding if I'm gay or not, but just even in the space of, okay, you say you're gay, but I want to let you know that you are still valuable. Treat me like you would treat the straight boy that's fucking all the girls, and you giving him grace because he didn't got 2 or 3 of them pregnant, and you still acknowledging that he got called to ministry, and he up there preaching, and he got 2 or 3 girls pregnant, and they had abortions and stuff, but all those things, he still get more grace. And just the mere visibility of me saying and still being treated like fair, and you can hold me accountable. Okay, having sex, you can hold me accountable to all of the things as a normal heterosexual man, but I feel like I'm pushed into this silent, secret world. And then if something happened to me, if something come up, everybody see, I told you that nigga was, I told you he was over there doing X, Y, Z. So the acceptance is accept the fact that this is who I am, but I know that's hard. That's hard for a lot of people, and at the same time know that I still want accountability. And that's why I asked. I don't know if there is a duality in there. So I hope you kind of understood where.
I did.
Okay.
I did. And this might be a whole nother pod.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. We're gonna go there too. But
because I think there's another conversation that really has to come just about accountability in of itself.
Okay.
Because I don't know if we really know what we asking for.
Yes.
When we say we want to be held accountable.
Yes.
Especially as believers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you asked earlier if there ever come a time where there's one understanding or where we're all unified in a thought. And it's possible if we are truly held accountable to what we agree the unifying thought is.
Gotcha. I got you.
And as believers, it's supposed to be the word of God.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
And if we say, okay, this is what the word of God says, and it says X, Y, and Z, and we believe that, well, when the adverse shows up in my life or in my lifestyle, when someone says this is wrong, that's not the time where you say, accept me for who I am.
Okay. True.
That's where you say, oh shit.
Yeah.
What is it in me?
Yeah.
That is what's up.
Right.
You know? And so that's why I think we just got to have a whole nother conversation about accountability.
Right.
Because
I agree.
Yeah,
I see you.
Because even when somebody says or call you out, what I've seen historically are people getting the attitude and saying, you judging me. Or, we got all of these other leads, but it's like, no, you want to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
No. That's so real. And 9 times out of 10, when that happens, it's done in a space where I'm in the pulpit, and it's coming from a, frustration, finger pointing space. Is not so much as we've created ministry spaces outside of that to really get into some of them, because you can't get into all the stories over the pulpit, but 9 times out of 10 it's coming from a rah in the pulpit, and you got people sitting around, say that pastor, and so it's say that pastor. And so 9 times out of 10 it's coming from that space, and so for the person that is going to, like, okay, I'm embarrassed in the moment and I'm ashamed in the moment, and so it's like whooping a child. This is just a comparison. It's like whooping a child, but never like sitting down to understand the child. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna be.
Why did you do that?
Right. Why did you do that? Or what's bringing you to do that? But it's just like whooping the child and just go over there and sit down, and then we moving on. But that pain is still there.
Absolutely.
That hurt is still there. And so we really never get to understand it. Transparently, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about me and my life the other day, and I told him, I said, I think Kenya, as and he's a pastor. He's heterosexual. He's a man. He's my brother. We're friends. And I said, bruh, I think that it's hard for us, the humans, to really say that we don't know. It's hard to just say, I don't know. So I'm going to find everything I can find to prove my point. And even when I was having a conversation with him, I wasn't trying to prove a point. I asked him a few questions. I asked him, have he really, truly humanized somebody whose life is like mine? And he couldn't really say that he did or not. But I think I made that point to say, okay, it needs to be more conversation, to your point. And you just said the magic piece, because it's easy to say now, oh, they judging me. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I ain't messing with it because they judge me. But I think that we don't make enough space for nuance now. We don't. That is a big problem to me, because you can go to other space. If you go in the business world, you got DEI. We know we're trying to hold that up. You know what I'm saying? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. You got all these other things in other spaces, but I think in ministry spaces, it's time. The day is over for us to just have certain views on certain topics and just pass it over like this just it. No, let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, because people are dying. And if you have a lack of visibility, if you have a lack of acknowledgement, you're going to go in some dark spaces, and you'll be there. I can come and I can serve and I can be there, but when I go home, it's dark. It's dark for me, Kenya. So yeah, but
yeah, I'm processing.
Yeah. No, it's because it's something to think about, Kenya. Like a lot of guys I know, like that love the space, love church. Even like some of the biggest critics that we have a church, every now and then something pop up. They're like, dang, I remember, you know, I could do this in church, and I just miss the fellowship. I miss the community that I felt in the space, Kenya. And how do we reconcile just with that one conversation, but not just with that one conversation, but how do we reconcile the things that people go through? How can we bring us all to a human level to understand? Yes, I'm called to preach the word of God, and I also have this going on, and still you respect me as a man of God. How can we get to that space? So I don't know, but yeah, process it. And this is just conversation. This is the first conversation of a few, and this kind of goes. We kind of went into. And the next question, we kind of went into a little bit with that first one, Kenya, but representation is an issue. It's an issue. How can we develop a deeper sense of belonging when associated with a church?
Define we.
As a corporate, as a people, as a people, how can, like, overall, and not just my story, but a lot of people who no longer go anymore, that they feel like maybe an afterthought, or they feel like, you know, I just don't really belong, because at the core of humanity is belonging. Like, we all want belonging. I don't care who you are, what you got going on, you want to belong. So how can we as a people develop deeper sense of belonging when being associated with the church? Because if my church started out with 50 members and then it grow to 300 members, how can I still have the same sense of belonging when it was 50 of us? Now it's 300 of us. I know I can't get the same attention from the pastor I used to get, because it's a lot more people now. How can we hold on to a sense of belonging, if you will?
So my doctorate degree is it's a doctoral of ministry.
Okay.
But in womanist preaching.
Okay.
And that's understanding the word of God and preaching through the lens of a black woman's perspective.
Okay.
And so we all understand the relationship between the church and the LGBTQ community, and we also understand that same spirit is displayed towards women.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
When I saw that question, I was like, oh,
yeah,
I got this one.
Yeah.
As a black young woman coming up in ministry, I'm so grateful for the grace and the favor that God has shown me.
Yes.
Just because my challenges haven't been as prominent and prevalent as others, but there's still some fight. There's still much fight required to make sure that we are included in these spaces, to be respected and heard and valued just the same. So don't think you are alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I said that to say that the answer to that belonging, allowing people to feel like they belong, is discipleship.
Yes.
We as a black church don't disciple.
We don't disciple.
We don't do discipleship in our churches, and even the churches that have discipleship pastors are truly like glorified event planners for the church. You just keep the programs of the church going, but it's not real discipleship and relationship.
Right.
And so when churches truly adopt the mission of discipleship, which is what Jesus commissioned us to, it will be a greater chance of folks coming to a space, getting connected, and feeling like I belong.
Yes, Kenya.
But it gets messy all the times, though, when you try to do small groups. Why? Because most times in our spaces, folks not really living lives according to the Spirit. We break off into small groups and they become cliques instead of smaller spaces of accountability. They just become the people I go to brunch with after church. That's not discipleship.
Yes.
You know, the people that you can go meet at the gym once a week with. That's not discipleship.
No.
So we really have to make space in our churches where people can come, get connected in relationship with people who will hold them accountable, And through those different things, through those different types of spaces, you're cultivating gifts.
Yeah.
You're cultivating, all of these things that we have as believers that will then make room for
Yes.
opportunity and ministry and all of those things. But most of the times what happens is people will come to church, join it, and then Sunday morning is about as deep as it gets.
Yes.
And that's as deep as their spiritual lives go.
Wow.
So,
And Kenya, as you talk, I think about Christ, and he is my favorite biblical character. Right. I mean, because no. Because I feel like for real, Paul is really a lot of people's favorite. Yeah. A lot of people I know, like they I mean, and literally, what was yours?
Elihu.
What was Elihu?
See? Elihu, he's in Job.
Okay.
He was the youngest one amongst them.
Wow. Okay.
And he let them the whole time go around and around Job and his friends. Job's friends trying to tell him, "No, you wrong." All that.
Yeah.
Elihu was just in the cut the whole time listening.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look him up, King.
And then even after Job talked, then Elihu comes up.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
And he was just
Yeah.
giving it to him. And
Okay.
I was like, "You my dude." 'Cause
Wow.
he's young and that
Wow.
was needed.
Yeah. And I'm gonna look that up this evening. Elihu. I'm gonna look that up. And I like Christ King because he did life and he walked with the disciples. Walking with, I think that's where we have the issue in church, because we don't truly walk with people. Walking with mean I see you. It means you see me and I see you. And walking with also means there's not really no big eyes and little U's. I'm walking with you. And so when we walk with each other, we can see each other's good. We can see each other's bad. That's when we can have conversations. Oh man, I ain't know you thought like that. Or I didn't know you felt like that. Or when I'm having hard days or times struggling with something, you can hold me accountable there. Or when I'm in a gypsy twist and I'm really kind of out clowning, acting a fool, you have the authority because we walk together. Say, hey, Raymond, I don't really, bro, you need to kind of pull up a little bit. I'm concerned. Or hell, if I'm eating too much, my diet is all over the place, but I'm asking y'all to pray for me for my blood pressure. I'm finna go to the doctor. I get my blood pressure now. Nigga, you ain't eating right, So I feel like that's walking with, and that's discipleship. And to your point, I don't think we do that enough in the Black church. We don't do that really much at all. We go to church and we have events, and we have things. But I thought something would have been dope. I don't know if you did it like a year or two ago. You wanted to have like a brunch and learn or something. You did like did you ever do that?
Yeah, we was doing brunch and vibes.
But how did that go?
It was cool.
But I think more spaces like that should be curated, especially in the day we're in, Kenya. I mean, and it's just so much that I don't want to say we're competing against as believers, but it's so much other stuff out here for people to get people connected. And so if we're not building spaces of connection truly, because I can come around you and I can hide all my shit. And we can be connected because I can act a certain way. And I think that's what we see now. Like, as long as I come in this space and act a certain way and hide everything, I'm good. But we're dying. We're dying on the inside. We're physically dying. And when they get to that space, it's like, dang, I ain't know what was going on. So, but I hear you with your answer to that belonging and this discipleship.
Yeah, we gotta be willing to walk with people.
Yes.
And that means even when we see things in people that we don't like or that's not right, not abandoning them.
Yes.
When that comes up. Like we have to be spaces of grace. Because that's where transformation kind of happens.
Yes.
And that's where people really understand, like, no, these people really love me.
Yes.
Because they didn't leave me even when I was a rich. And we have to love people long enough that we don't let their lives void the connection.
Right.
Yeah.
And even for the people who who stopped going to a church because I got into it with somebody, and because that somebody had a position in the church. I'm church hurt. That's it. But did you take accountability for your part? I think we have to take accountability for our part too.
Absolutely.
What did you put? What did you contribute to this argument? What did you contribute to this? And I know that it's easy today for people to say, I'm church hurt, and I'm not dismissing or not discounting anybody's pain. I'm not here to do that, but I'm saying that we have to all be able to take accountability as to the part that we played. Yeah. And a lot of time when you have structures over you, proving the other point, a lot of time when you have structures over you that is inflicting the pain or trying to serve a steak on a garbage can lid, that ain't working today. Yeah. It's just not working.
Man, if I took in all of what I've gone through in church and acted like I was a victim, I won't be in church today.
Wow.
Wow. It was hard. I didn't want to embrace it initially, but in every situation, I played a part in whatever the outcome was.
Real talk. Real talk.
Point,
Real talk.
I did something.
Real talk.
I
Real
missed
talk, Ken.
something.
Yeah.
If I would have done what I was supposed to do, I probably wouldn't have been in the situation.
Yeah.
Good,
Real talk. Good, bad, and indifferent. Real talk. Real talk.
There was something there was a role that I played. So there's no way I can sit here and be like, oh man, the church ain't good to women in ministry, da 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 da. No, bro.
But I'm gonna tell you something. What I've learned, if I learned nothing else from this current presidential election, even with me being just a man, I understand my privilege more. And y'all have to, y'all get questions, y'all get scrutiny that I would never get.
Men and women alike.
Yes.
Oppose women in leadership.
Oh my God.
Sometimes
Yes.
Women worse than the men sometimes.
Yes.
Sis, come on.
Right. Like what?
Why are we tripping?
Like why are we tripping? And y'all get stuff. So I think that now y'all, we can argue back and forth, but I feel like the compassion that is indirectly built in y'all can mirror the compassion that's indirectly built in us, because we learn to still give grace even when we're not respected. We learn to still give honor and respect to people who just don't give it back. You know what I'm saying? And that level of compassion, I feel like that's closest to compassion that Christ wants us to give.
Absolutely.
So, man,
absolutely.
Yes, God, and it's like I hope y'all enjoying this conversation, and I just wanted to have this conversation because it's one that's so needed, and I get so tired of when we turn on social media and something new happens in the church. Something new happens in the global church space, and everybody go to insert their opinions. Like, this is why I don't go. This is why I don't go. Or y'all just hate the church. And so I just, that irks my nerves. You know what I'm saying? And so let's have these talks. Let's get to some of the roots of what is happening in Kenya. And then, for those who feel disconnected, Kenya, or feel like they're an afterthought in church spaces, what are some steps we can do to build trust again in the institution of church, if there is any?
Be open.
I want to keep your thought, but you said something to me that messed me up off camera before. What you said, the something or
be
something.
Be honest, open, and transparent. Shout out to Mike Todd and Tim Ross.
Yeah. Listen.
If they ever see this pod, I don't want to take
Yeah, right. Yeah. Listen. Mike Todd, Tim Ross, I promise y'all good. But be honest. You said honest.
Honest, open, and transparent.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when you go into these spaces looking for your place, I would say be open first to the idea that this possibly could be the place for me.
Wow.
Because a lot of times, because of our hurt and because of what we've experienced in our past, we carry that with us into the spaces, and we go in with a wall like, nope. And in the moment we see something that smell like something we experienced. Nope. See, I told you.
Yep. See, I told you. Yeah.
But you already had a negative mindset and a limited belief about it in the first place.
Yes.
Because you weren't even open to the possibility.
Yes.
And if you remain open, that grace word we keep saying might be, you'll give the benefit of the doubt when you're just entering the space.
Yeah. Now,
try the spirit by the spirit.
Yes.
If you keep coming and it's the same feel or the same vibe, this may not be the place for you. But just be open to the idea that there is a space that God has for me.
Yes.
To be able to be used fully. And then keep Christ in your mind when you go to these spaces and they don't accept you. Don't take it personally. You just shake the dust off your foot and you go to the next space.
Yes.
And I think we do that a lot. Is when we go into a place and it's not what we're looking for, or they don't receive us like we think they should. We take it personally, and then we say that's a bad place, and it's not either one. It's just not your place. Yeah, it's just not for you. Right. So that's what I would say. Just be open. Yes. Yes.
That's good, Kenya. And I'm truly thinking on, and y'all shoot me if you want to, but I'm thinking on if I decided to go back in a church space, where would I feel home at? Like, where would I feel home at? Now, because I never call church names on my podcast, but where I come from, it was a hip church. It was a young church at the time, and I got used to doing ministry that way. And when I realized, okay, we were so busy trying to not be traditional that we created our own traditions. And so we was just creating another tradition, and it kind of wore out.
You can't escape tradition.
You can't escape it. Like
you started it or you inherited it.
Right.
It's gonna be tradition.
Right. And so now, Kenya, I still tune into a service weekly, and it's less smoke and mirrors for me. I really, now feel the spirit, try the spirit, by the spirit, do all the things, but I'm looking for more meat and word, and I don't have to have a lot of the pomp and circumstance, if you will. Only if you will. A lot of the pomp it's fine. The pomp and circumstance is fine, but at the end of the day, like, I want something to help me navigate this life better.
Absolutely.
I want something to help me move to my highest self. If I have to be in a space and if I'm internally seeing myself as less than, it ain't serving me. Yeah. It's not serving. It's not safe. It's not safe. And we've gotten so used to putting masks on and going and performing and being what we need to be for the space. And that just ultimately don't serve Kenya. And for a moment, and y'all go with me for a second, I felt like, okay, ministry, before I say this, take a breath, just take a breath. Ministry, the highest you go in ministry is your ability to hide all your shit. And that's what it looked like to me. Like the ability for you to move up high in ministry was really how well you're able to hide your things. And so I haven't necessarily been proven wrong on that, but I just know that that's not a safe thought, because I know in reality a lot of pastors go through a lot of stuff too, but they can never outly say okay, I'm dealing with XYZ, because people may lose respect for them. So that's where I think I think that God is leveling it out, because we're seeing that esteem somebody, hold them up, honor. We need to honor each other as humans, but don't have them where God is. don't have them in their space, because they're not. They're ultimately a man or a woman just like you. So, but yeah, but that.
And as I was just thinking, even if it's not like a hard sin,
Right.
But even if it's just hiding your truth.
Yes.
So like the moment that I stopped hanging in certain circles or agreeing to be at certain spaces just to keep up optics.
Yes.
My whole circle changed.
Wow.
Because I was no longer hiding the truth that I just didn't agree with what was going on.
Wow.
You know, so even if it's and when I was hiding that truth, you know, it might have seemed like, oh, you all over the place, you at this church, this church, but we know all of that is relationship based.
Yes. Yeah.
In certain spaces.
In certain spaces.
Certain circles.
Right.
You know, and so, but the moment I stopped hiding that, I really don't align with this.
Wow.
Call stop.
Wow.
For both preaching and hanging out.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
And you start seeing them call other people that subscribe to or yield to their way or their group. And I just was like, okay. But I just got to this space where I was just okay with that. Because I no longer wanted to hide who I was or who I am. So to hear you say that might be some truth to it. And that's scary.
I mean, for real, it's scary because that's the higher you go, the highest you go is the harder you can hide. But understanding that this past summer it was interesting because I think one week, I don't know what happened this particular weekend, but I went to 2 different bars and I ran into 3 different pastors. And I think that when they saw, my motto is, hey, I ain't trying to slow nothing down, bro. You know, so I listen, do you, be you. And so one of them, I literally went to one to order some food because I live downtown and I ordered some food to come back home. But so I had to sit at the bar, wait on my food, and just so happened I was sitting right next to one. And he saw me and he was just, you know, kind of a little disheveled. He was like, yeah, I gotta come do this before I get up in the morning. I said, hey man, no, sir, listen, I ain't here to slow that down, bro. I'm just coming to get my food. You don't owe me that. You don't owe me that. And then it was, I was walking home and it was literally 2 others. It was on the patio at another bar. What's up, right? What's going on? You know, and I've always been greeted like that. You know, from them, but I know because they know that I'm gay, I really I don't get the respect. I had never got the full respect as a man of God in those spaces because that nigga gay, you know, so. But, you know, and that could be me. That could very well be me, King.
And this might be another
okay, yeah.
But just like, how real are those thoughts that you think about people's perception of you? I'm not saying anything about none, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Right. That's real.
Just looking at your life, like if you don't know, you
right,
don't know.
Right. Real talk. I see you.
You know what I mean?
I see you.
I think we carry our own.
Yes.
What we think people think.
Right.
And it's like,
right.
I may not know.
Right. No, real talk. Real talk. Now, I could tell you.
Unless you knew them and they knew you.
I knew them.
Okay.
I knew them and they knew me. One, I'm real good. You know, so it was an assumption on the other, and the first one I saw, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to your point though, for my community and people, or take that back, not my community, but people who, when you see people and you assume that they know something about you, to your point, like you don't know, like you really don't know. You could be telling yourself, and that's why I fight so hard now, Kenya, to kill those thoughts. And I teach that in my coaching, emotional literacy, self-awareness, self-esteem, like your self-esteem is your value. And so those thoughts in your head, like it's telling you, okay, I'm not good enough, I'm not seen, I'm not visible. like a lot of those thoughts come from you internally. What have you dealt with that's causing you to feel that way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, keep talking. I gotta think about it again.
Yeah. What have gone on in your life that's causing you to feel that way and to think that way? And it takes work to come out of those low spaces. It takes work to and just like I told you, it took me to at least the age of 35, between 33 and 35, to see myself as equal to the level of respect as my heterosexual counterparts. And I felt like that was a problem. I felt that was a problem because before we can call anybody out on their shit, we got to be able to respect and see each other on the level. And I think people are more self-aware now of who they are and their value. It's like, man, if I ain't gotta sit in that space, I don't have to be there. If you're going to see me as small and you big, if it's a I'm small, you big thing, I ain't gotta be there. I ain't gotta be there. So
I was thinking about you talking about the brother you saw at the bar who was like, "Oh my bad," trying to give a justification.
Yeah.
What? There is nothing that I do in my life that if somebody caught me doing it,
wow,
I feel like I got to give a justification on why I'm doing it.
Wow.
If you see me at the bar with a glass of wine,
you see me.
Because to me, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
And so when I come across people like that, that means inherently your convictions are saying you shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And because of your convictions, you feel like you have to explain to somebody else why you're doing that. But I'm at the bar like you, which means
we here.
We might have similar convictions. You know
what
I mean?
Right. Real talk.
And I say that with all of it. With all of it.
Yeah.
If you are living any type of lifestyle or doing anything, if you truly believe this is who you are, then when you go in a space, there's no need to feel to justify your being there, or there shouldn't be a feeling of having to fight to be there.
Yeah.
Because it's who you are.
Absolutely.
It's who you are. And so when it comes to church, Lord help me.
I breathe. I had to sigh too. Like breathe in, take it in.
When it comes to church, if you are same gender loving, if that is who you are, there's no need to feel like you gotta announce that or have anybody else state that they know that that's what you are.
Okay.
Because that's who you are.
Okay.
I'm not going into spaces saying I'm a Christian.
Right. That's real. That's real. Yeah. I'm a Christian. Yeah. No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not looking for nobody to say, hey, I know you're a Christian. I saw you do that, you're a Christian. I'm not looking for that either.
Right.
It's just who I am. And so when I go into spaces, if that's who I am, that's what shows up when I get there.
Yeah.
And people got to decide what they're going to do with that.
Yes.
When that shows up.
Yes.
And so I say that to encourage you to say, bro, you are who you are. And so whatever church you try, you don't have to lead with anything but raiment.
Yes.
And who you are when it shows up. If it's received, amen. If not, okay. You know. And so I'll never forget. I had a friend in college. I don't know if he was gay or not. I still don't know. I don't care. But he always had this position of, why do people feel like they gotta come out?
Okay. I love when people say that. I'm listening. I'm listening.
And I understand
Yeah.
that there are other different theories and understandings about it. It's a pride thing, and you know all of that. But I understood him. And he's just like, if I am, why I gotta announce that? Y'all don't have to announce, that y'all are heterosexual. So why do we feel like that's something that people have to do if that's their lifestyle? And I respect that. I think it's, if we're humanizing people, what a person does in their private lives is not anybody's business. Whether it's sleeping with same gender, none, a married person, a preacher, whatever you're doing in your private life ain't nobody's business. And I just wish that when people are living, that they live out of a conviction that is true to who they say they are.
Yes.
Because now, today, I ain't always been this way. Now, today, there is nothing that anybody can call me out on that I got shame about, that I feel shame about if you find out, or none of that, because this is me.
Yeah.
Like it, love it, take it, leave it.
And if that guy was sitting here, and because I used to be one of those people that said that. I used to be one of those people that felt that, and on surface and in reality, like, that's the truth. Like why? Who do I owe that to? Who do I owe that to? And ultimately, I don't owe it to nobody. But myself.
And so, if you choose to, that's
right,
on you.
Right.
And respect.
Right. And my issue with that comes because I had to take a breather like you took a breather, right? Because I know, people, when you ride on that, like, I don't owe it to anybody, you're putting up automatic, like, okay, the visor, and so I'm gonna do this around it, but I'm not gonna do that. And so you just gotta get deeper into, okay, everything that I need to do to keep that private, I'm going to do. And so when you, over time, psychologically, like, I mean, it still equates out to people pleasing. It still do. Because, right, I don't have to announce it, but I'm with you, Kenya. If it comes up, I'm going to stand in it. This is who I am. This is what I got going. No shame. But my only issue with that, if people take that stance, and this is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but if people, 4 of those now. I know, right. If people take that stance, Kenya, like, make sure that you are not neglecting your willingness to be you. Yes. Because so many people take their stance and they live in secret and private as hell.
That's what I don't agree with.
Yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna come to you, take you out, because I know for the optics, I'm gonna take her out. Oh, God putting on my heart to get a wife, and I'm pulling you along and knowing I'm doing X, Y, Z, because why? I don't owe it to nobody. No. I don't owe it to nobody. But you feel like you owe it to people to show up a certain way.
Yeah, that's living a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not saying live a lot.
No. But yeah. But I deal heavy in self-worth, Kenya. Like, I know that is one place where God has really put in my purpose aligning, like, self-worth and value. Even the young men that we mentor and we walk with the organization, like, we teach that so hard and so well, because regardless of what you have going, we're going to talk about what's right and wrong, but it's important that you feel that you're worthy as anybody else.
Absolutely.
In the space.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
This has been a great conversation, Kenya. I want to ask you this one last question before we go. I ask this to everybody who sit down. If it was one thing that you could do to bridge humans better, if you could do it that could really help bridge humans better, what would that one thing be?
Was that on my pre-notes?
No, it wasn't on your pre-notes. It wasn't on your pre-notes. It wasn't on your pre-notes. Because I mean, just off this mere conversation, y'all, like, the division shows up eventually. and everybody sit in their silos or whatever place in the community you sit, and you sit with your people, and you congregate with your people, and you share community with your people. But as humans, to the point we've been trying to make this whole hour and 10 minutes, like we need more spaces of connection. So what is one thing you could do or you would say that we need to do to foster that, to foster better connection, to be able to bridge different parts of the community? I'm sorry, I should have gave you this question.
That's not fair.
She's the thought leader, y'all. So I knew this was gonna be hard for her. I know. Or if it was more than one thing, just
No. I yield.
okay.
I respect it. If there was one thing that I could do to bridge humans together
better. Mm-hmm.
What would that thing be? I would reintroduce from the very basic level what love is.
Wow. Nobody's ever answered like that, Kenya. I want you to know. Nobody's ever answered like that. But
I would reintroduce and teach everybody truly what love is.
wow.
Because when you understand what love is, you move differently with people and you desire
Yes.
people. And that would be it.
Wow.
And when I look at God and I look at the word, never does it say why God loved us so much that he gave his only son to die for us. You can't find a reason other than that it pleased him.
Other than that, yeah.
And if we treated people out of that space and saw people out of that space, like there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can say, there's no way you can be that will alter my love for you.
Yes.
As a person.
Yes.
As my brother, you know, as my friend, as my peer. There's nothing that could happen that will sever our tie.
Yeah.
And when something happens that causes a disconnect or distance in our connection, we know without a shadow of a doubt it's because God is doing something. And not because of ego, not because of judgment, not because of anything else. It's simply because Holy Spirit's moving.
Yes.
But the thing about that is, I don't know if you've seen like magnets. Like our bonds are, our bonds are more like magnets.
Yes.
They don't have to be like this.
I see you.
To be connected.
Yes.
There can be distance and still be attraction. That's what love does.
Yes.
No matter the distance, we still are connected.
Yes.
So that's what I would do.
Yes. And thank you for that answer. And I texted her the other day, and her father, he comes sit in my chair at least once or twice a month. When I tell you, Kenya, like we've built a bond so tight, and he get me together without and I see where it comes from with her. But he get me together and we talk. And we, from the time he walk in the door to the time he leave, like he gonna leave me with something. And he gonna say, Raymond, you need to make sure you taking care of yourself. Make sure. He said, you're doing a lot. I'm happy to see you out doing what you're doing, Raymond, but you gotta make sure. And he leave me with something every time, Kenya. And that's why I text you like, man, your pops, man, like your dad is, and I know, like, and I know relationships are so like intentional now with my life, and I know it's a God thing because your dad fills a piece of a gap in me, you know, from me growing up without a father, you know, and I have a great stepdad now, but your dad feels a part of that because he's like a big brother. I would say a father figure, and just a friend. Like we just shoot the breeze, like we can talk to each other. Me and your dad, we can talk to each other about the most carnal thing.
It's my fault.
And then we can talk to each other about the most spiritual thing.
Absolutely.
We can do it.
And that's what I grew up. That's what I grew up with.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, I saw the polar ends in that one person.
Yeah.
You know, my
Yeah.
dad is the reason I am the way that I am.
Wow.
The most spiritual man I would know.
Yes.
But that corn, you turn that corn.
We go get down.
You know.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
But that made people respect him.
Yeah.
Even in church, growing up in church, the young men
Really.
gravitated to my dad because they come talk to him and he'd be like, "Nigga, you need to," you know.
Yeah.
Cuss him out.
Yeah.
On the church parking lot.
He gonna get them together.
Come talk to me.
Right.
And hold
Right.
him accountable though. Like,
Right.
no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You need to get yours together.
Yeah.
You know. But at the same time, you know, it was strangely rooted out of the word of God.
really rooted. Like
biblical
really. Yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
this thing was coming out of.
Yes.
And it's like, man,
Yes.
all right, I yield. So
Yes.
I'm happy to hear
Yes.
that y'all got that connection.
Yes,
When he told
absolutely.
me he was coming to you, I was like,
Yeah, we good. Well,
Yeah.
Kenya, thank you so much for this episode. I think this is a high bar to pass on the future episodes of this topic, but I think that we open up some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We open up some stuff. Let the people know how they can find you on social media. Kenya.
I am Dr. Kenya Janae, Janey, on everything. I'm mostly on Threads nowadays.
Okay, yeah, because and now when she do show up on the other stuff, she's giving a word.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a word like this.
Yeah, and on Facebook, I'm Kenya Janae Gray. Instagram, Dr. Kenya Janae.
Yeah.
TikTok, Dr. Kenya Janae. Threads, Dr. Kenya Janae.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I want to see her doing some videos. Look at me, Portia. I want to see her doing some videos,
Yeah.
like, because the stuff she says, like, you're a thought leader.
Thank you.
You are a thought leader, and it needs to be heard, especially some of the stuff that you talk about with the kids that you see and you minister and you disciple, like. And some of the stuff that they say to you, like, that's real.
Yeah.
That's the generation that's coming.
Absolutely.
Like, it's coming. And we got to look at that stuff. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Sooner than you realize.
Yes,
So
okay.
I receive it.
Yeah.
I receive it.
Yes. But I love you so much, sis. Thank you so much for this episode. If you have not, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast, Ray Bridging Humans. And I'm so excited. I have a big announcement, probably in about a week or so. Well, maybe less than a week. So I'll share that next week with y'all. But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching Ray Bridging Humans. It's the place where the people get to hear you and the world get to see it. Love you, family. Peace.